The Clath expeditionary fleet moved silently through the dark between stars, their hulls gleaming faintly under the distant light of Sol. They had heard rumors of feral species that lived on the third planet of the system, a primitive world buzzing with crude transmissions and atmospheric pollution. Hardly worth their attention. But the Council had commanded exploration, and so exploration was what they would do. Their flagship, the Ascendancy, drifted into position beyond the orbit of Mars. Its communication arrays stretched out like spears, tasting the electromagnetic noise pouring from Earth. It was cacophony. Radio chatter, television fragments, pulses from orbiting satellites, even what seemed like digital networks coursing invisibly across the planet. To the Clath, it was the sound of a world barely stumbling into the galactic stage. Primitive, hissed the first speaker, his mandibles clicking. They cannot even silence their skies. They shout their existence to predators. "Shall we hail them?" asked the comms officer. The speaker tilted his head. Contact with pre-space civilizations was risky, but this was no ordinary scouting mission. The Council wanted answers. Humanity had spread its voice farther than any other emerging species, without fear, without hesitation, as though daring the galaxy to notice them. "Send the hail," the speaker ordered. A piercing signal was formed, modulated into a language template that most young species could adapt to. It was simple, direct, commanding. It said, "We are here. Acknowledge." For long minutes, only the noise of Earth returned. The comms officer began to suspect their crude devices could not even perceive such a message. But then there was silence. The static, the endless chatter, the chaotic flood of transmissions all around Earth. It stopped. The officers aboard the Ascendancy froze. Never, in all their travels, had they seen a primitive world fall silent at once. Then, in the silence, a voice spoke. "Calm, controlled, measured, unidentified vessel. This is Earth Control. State your intentions." The bridge of the Ascendancy erupted with a dozen overlapping clicks and hisses. The speaker raised his limbs to silence them. "Replay," he commanded. The voice came again, impossibly fluent, impossibly fast, layered with authority. "Unidentified vessel. This is Earth Control. State your intentions." "Earth Control?" whispered the comms officer. "That is impossible. This world has no unified authority." "And yet," the speaker rasped, "something is answered." He flexed his mandibles in thought. Perhaps this was a deception. Perhaps one of the human nation-states had advanced beyond the others, seizing control of all communication. But how could they silence an entire planet's transmissions in an instant? "Respond," the speaker ordered. "Test their reach." The comms officer composed a careful reply, announcing the presence of the Clath, demanding identification. The signal went out. The reply came instantly, almost too quickly for translation algorithms to process. "Earth Control acknowledges the Clath presence. You are in restricted orbit. Declare your peaceful intent or withdraw." The speaker felt his thorax tighten. The humans knew their name. Impossible. No transmissions containing their designation had been sent. Their fleet identifiers were encrypted, and yet the voice, calm, sharp, deliberate, spoke as though peering directly into their command logs. "They should not know us," murmured the navigation chief. The comms officer trembled. "They are reading us." "That is not possible." "And yet they do it." A chill spread across the bridge, though the Clath were not a species prone to fear. Something about the voice, its unwavering calm, its refusal to show hesitation, it rattled them in ways no plasma barrage ever had. The speaker tried to steel himself. Perhaps it is bluff. A simulation. He gestured sharply. "Target their orbital debris. Destroy something of theirs. Force their hand." The gunnery crews aligned a Lance battery toward a piece of human orbital scrap, a long-dead satellite. The beam fired. The wreck vanished in a flare of molten sparks. The speaker leaned forward, mandibles clacking. "Now, let us see how they—" The lights aboard the Ascendancy dimmed. Systems flickered. One by one, the ship's displays collapsed into static. Panic washed through the crew. What is happening? Power drains across all decks. Weapons unresponsive. Shields failing. Then the voice returned, not only through their comms, but vibrating through every speaker, every console, every device that could emit sound. Unidentified vessel. Earth control repeats. Declare peaceful intent or withdraw. There will not be a third transmission. The speaker stared in disbelief. The humans had not fired. They had not even moved. And yet, the ascendancy hung powerless. Its system stripped bare as though a hand had reached inside and taken hold of its very heart. Impossible, he whispered. No young race could command such reach. No pre-space civilization could wield this authority. How? The navigation chief's voice trembled. How do they control us so completely? The speaker's thoughts raced. Perhaps Earth was not primitive at all. Perhaps the noise, the chaos, the endless flood of transmissions had been deliberate. A mask, a trap, a net woven across their planet and beyond. A lure for the careless. Earth control, he rasped into the void, forcing his voice to remain steady. We acknowledge your sovereignty. We are here under peaceful intent. For a long moment, silence. Then the voice replied, softer now, but no less commanding. Acknowledge. You will withdraw from this orbit. You are not yet clear for approach. The bridge crew looked to their speaker, waiting for defiance, waiting for orders. But the speaker only bowed his head. Their weapons were locked. Their shields were gone. Even their engines hummed with foreign interference. Against such power, defiance was suicide. Navigation, he said hoarsely. Plot withdrawal course. As the craft fleet pulled away, they saw it, across the orbit of Earth, tiny sparks igniting, satellites pivoting, old relics adjusting. Not debris, not chaos. A lattice, a net of steel and fire, veiled in noise, pretending to be disorder. And Earth control sat at its center, a voice that spoke for billions, a hand that could strip a fleet bare without firing a shot. In the quiet that followed, as Sol's light bathed their retreating hulls, the speaker finally understood. Humanity had never been naive. They had been waiting for the day someone would send a hail. And when that day came, the galaxy would learn to listen when Earth control replied.